Whenever I see a game like Shovel Knight get talked about, I think back to 2008 when Mega Man 9 came out. I was kind of a touch-and-go fan of the series, but I played the piss out of Mega Man 9. We had been exposed to a lot of 2D independent platformers up until that point. Braid was a particularly big hit that year, but something felt really genuine about Mega Man 9. It felt like I reached in my grandma's box of NES games and pulled out a game that had never been released before. In the years following Mega Man 9, you saw the maturation of independently developed games taking full advantage of the 8-bit art style. Unfortunately, with that came a referential, tongue-in-cheek style of humor that made jokes about the era those games were influenced by, instead of a celebration of the style that forces designers to be more limited with their choices. That's what made Mega Man 9 so unique, it felt constrained. This is where Shovel Knight comes in. At first, when I saw the Kickstarter for this game, I kind of rolled my eyes. I thought for sure that the game's main hook, the fact that your character is wielding a shovel, was going to be a joke the entire game. Instead, the game kind of rolls with it. Instead of all the NPCs making jokes about how you have a shovel instead of a sword, it's tied into the universe nicely in that it's never referenced. Some of the bosses in the game even have shovels. Once I kind of got the feel that this game wasn't going to be your average monthly throwaway independent platformer, I started to really appreciate how well it played. The references the game makes aren't all your base jokes, they're gameplay mechanics. I hardly found myself getting nostalgic over the art style and sounds, despite how fantastic they are. I liked seeing a Mario Bros. 3 world map mixed with Mega Man levels with the cane jump from DuckTales. The plot of Shovel Knight really isn't in your face. It's essentially a damsel in distress story with some interesting characters peppered throughout. All of that being said, I was really surprised with how seriously the story took itself throughout the entire game. By the end, you have people sacrificing themselves for you as you make friends with your old enemies. I actually found myself pretty engaged. I haven't double checked this, but I'm pretty sure you start the game with everything you need to beat it. Your entire moveset is unlocked from the get-go, but you can buy special relics to increase your abilities. These aren't super helpful, but they're really fun to play with, and sometimes they can help you out of a bind. There were many times when I was stuck in an area, and even though I saw how I could better play the game to beat a challenge, a relic was able to help me advance a little bit easier. That being said, there are certain treasure challenge levels that require specific relics in order to advance. There probably is an achievement or something special for beating the game without using relics, but you should definitely give them a shot because they are fun to mess around with. There's a really good checkpoint system in the game that reminds me of Dark Souls. I am as tired as you are of everything being compared to Dark Souls, but stick with me. Every time you die, a portion of your coins are scattered about the screen and you have to go get them within the next life or they're gone forever. The interesting thing about the checkpoints that I never realized until about 3/4 of my way through the game is that you can break them for extra money. If you do this though, you can't go back to those checkpoints after you die, you go back to the previous checkpoint. This would have been made more interesting if the game's economy wasn't so lackluster. I never really felt the need to upgrade my equipment or buy new relics. It was always something that just happened. This ties in what I was saying about relics kind of being an afterthought in my first playthrough, but it's there for completionists, so I guess that's an okay thing. All in all, the difficulty was definitely there. I banged my head against the wall for 10 hours until I could finally beat Mega Man 9, and now I can do that game in 55 minutes, but I'm not bragging. I'm not, at all. I finished Shovel Knight in about 4.5 hours, but your mileage will definitely vary based on how savvy you are with that old school type of game. There's not much I can say about Shovel Knight that hasn't been said before. It's a great game, and if you have any attachment towards your Nintendo Entertainment System, definitely pick this one up. Much like Mega Man 9, I felt like I could have reached into a used games bin and pulled this one out. That's a special piece of nostalgia that not a lot of game developers have been able to latch onto, but Yacht Club did very well. I was worried about stupid jokes when I started Shovel Knight, but I left just as happy as I did 6 years ago with Mega Man 9. And that's saying something. Thanks for watching my Shovel Knight video. I don't know if this really counts as a review, but it's something I just finished playing, so I thought I would share it with you. If you want me to keep doing this, give the video a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. The more feedback I see, the more inclined I am to make more. So that's the deal.